First Gen Wealth, we talk about an entrepreneur's journey to creating wealth. I've got a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues, a lot of peers that they're brought up with money and the ability to handle and figure that out. Finding dollars has always been easy. Finding a deal, making money, I can do that. What to do with it to make it continue to earn so we do have that generational wealth, that's the missing piece. We want our money that we've earned through blood, sweat, and tears to now go to work for us. So that money is making money while we're sleeping. Hello, welcome to First Gen Wealth. I'm Randy Woodworth. This is episode 10. Today I've got a good friend in the office here to share this monumentous episode with me. Tony Nash, owner of AZ Business Solutions. He's the one that talked me into doing a podcast. 90%, there's 2 million podcasts a year that start. 90% don't make it past 3 episodes.
I thought it was 5, but that's incredible. 3.
Yeah, and then after that, there's 180,000 left, and only 90% of those make it to 20 episodes. So we're halfway there.
Halfway there, living on a prayer.
Living on a prayer.
Congrats,
exactly.
man. Congrats on episode 10.
I appreciate that. And I've been wanting to have you on, and I'm going to beat you up in today's episode.
I'm excited for that.
So get excited. Yeah, get excited for that.
But
skin. Congratulations to you as well, not for spilling the water on your shirt, if you can see that.
That happened right before the show.
Yeah, it'll be dry by the end.
We just go with it.
No, but you're. This is Wednesday. You're going to be done tomorrow. On
75 hard.
75 hard. So
man.
You were sharing with me you've lost 47 pounds.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
An incredible journey.
Yeah.
And I haven't shared my shirtless photos on Facebook like you know, but maybe I'll put them on the episode. This will be the reveal.
Okay.
I'll use your
all
episode.
right.
Dan, put the photo right here of 75 days.
I was thinking I want to do a montage video of my progress.
You should.
Of course I should. You'll charge me for it. So, Tony
I have a great idea.
Tony does video production. If you don't know, he's very good at that. But no, I'm very proud of you, man. That's a huge accomplishment. But feel free to send me the shirtless photos. It's been weird.
I have.
I know it's been a weird experience. We've gotten a lot of guys on that fitness journey, and I get
shirtless photos.
I get a lot of shirtless in my DMs. A lot of shirtless photos.
Well, listen, man, you were the one that inspired me. I remember standing down in the butcher shop.
Yep.
We were getting ready to take some preliminary video for that, and you were telling me about this 75 hard. And I'm at that time, and I was like 3
bills.
316, I think.
3 bills and change.
Yeah, and I just wasn't feeling good at all. And I'm like, I need to do something extreme. And you started talking about it. And I'm like, dude, I don't have time to do what I do now. How can I work 2 40-minute workouts a day?
45.
A gallon of water. I mean, all of this stuff. And so it's like, how am I going to be able to do all this? And but it's really a mental toughness challenge. It's like
that's exactly what it is.
It's like I can do this.
Yep.
Like just saying I can do it, and then you just do it. So there was a lot of late nights, like out walking in the rain or early mornings, because I know I'm not going to have time the rest of the day to get to the gym.
Did you make it straight through 75 days, or did you have to reset?
So I made it to day 42, I think, the first time with my son.
Yeah.
Then we had to make an emergency trip back from Florida. Missed my 2 workouts.
Yeah.
And so I took 2 weeks off.
Oh, okay.
And started over. So technically, like the 47 pounds is a combination.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been like 100 and some days, but
right.
This particular time around, I think I've lost about 35.
Epic. Dude.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's been, and like I said, a lot of late nights, like trying to chug my water and then up peeing all night. So.
Oh God. So the water part was really easy for me. I got through that. By 5 p.m. at the latest. Usually, I
still struggle with that one.
Oh,
I'm at the point now where like I enjoy the workouts.
Yeah.
It's there. The diet is not an issue.
I
love the read. I've gotten through so many books.
I know.
I've had some really good experiences, but the water is still a thorn in my side.
12 different books during mine. 12 different books.
I have to count them up. I got quite a few.
I had a stat.
I just finished The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. A fantastic book.
Yeah.
But
I'm still reading now, so that sticks with you. I finished June 17th. I finished mine.
Your results were amazing.
Yeah. Well, I got to day 26 and got screwed on my journey back home from spring break.
Florida as well.
Yeah,
Those
Florida
trips.
These Florida trips, man. but I started like I think I drove straight through the night. So I drove like 20 hours straight.
It's the same thing we did.
Yeah. And then I don't know if I started the same. Yeah, no, I did. I got right back on it. Right back on it.
Well, now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do after.
Yeah, like, well, there's phase one.
Yeah, I'm like, I can do extreme things.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said, I think for, anyone that struggles with any kind of mental toughness, like just commit to it, do it. You
read the book. So this is all designed by a guy named Andy Frisella. He, great guy, great podcast. He wrote a book called 75 Hard, Mastering the War Within. Yeah. And it's all about the minutia and basically strengthening your boss voice and squashing the bitch voice, as Andy says.
And that works. Like that was what you sold me on right there. Yeah. That exact phrase. Yeah. And literally, like, I think it was 2 days ago, I was up late and I had set myself to go at 6 a.m. My daughter was going to go with me to the gym, and the alarm went off and she texted me she's not going, and I did not want to go. I only had like 3 hours of sleep, and so I'm sitting there trying to like convince myself not to go.
Oh yeah.
And then I hear Randy like, "Don't listen."
The bitch voice.
So I pushed through it, went to the gym, and I felt so much better when it was done.
Oh, it's always like
that kind of stuff works with me for some reason.
Yeah, getting over that hump, and because once you're in the gym, it's just getting there.
Yeah.
And for me, I made it real simple on myself. I just had to go out to my garage and walk up my stairs to my attic. So I had like that Rocky IV set up there. So anyway,
awesome. Let me just say one more thing.
Okay, go right ahead. This is your show.
Those listening, no, I'm used to being on the other side.
It's all right.
No, I'm just saying to those listening that say like that's too hard or they can't do it or whatever, like you got to squash that. Like just go try it. Oh. And listen, I have never once, I went to the gym this morning. I've never looked forward to going to the gym. I don't get excited about it. I hate it. I dread it every time. But 100% of the time when I'm done, I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah.
So it's just about pushing yourself through that little moment of
That's
weakness.
Interesting.
I don't look forward to it at all. I hate it every time.
That's wild. See, I'm like, let's go get repped. Yeah. I'm gonna lift heavy things. Let's go. Like that wasn't every time.
Yeah.
But I'd go up there and I'd have Pantera blasting or
I can see it.
Oh, dude, I'm like, walk, respect, and I'm just like, let's go. I would have this. I wanted certain songs to be like coming up when I got to the bench press. Like that was like so
time it just right.
Yeah, chest day was like
we should have had some video of that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't allow it. But anyway, so this is obviously
thanks for inspiring me.
Yeah, no, and dude, you're an inspiration yourself. I mean, you need to post that stuff. And I'm trying to get off this topic, but it's such an important topic because I made the decision that, and I've said this before, like it comes down to I want to be the best I can be, right? And that's job, that's husband, that's dad, that's finances, that's boss, that's all of those things. So if I want to be the best I can be, then I need my mind to be sharp, right? Yeah. And in order for my mind to be at its peak, my body needs to be at its peak.
Yeah. Energy.
It's exactly right. And so that healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances kind of mantra just kind of was like, that was my mantra. That was what was resonating through there. So it does tie in, right, to what 100%. We're talking about here. And what I was going to say was you are an inspiration just by doing it, and don't be afraid to post that stuff. There's still a lot of guys that I've shared this.
How many
book.
Guys are doing it?
I can't even. It's like up to 20 because like there's somebody that is coming to pick up the book today. Like I bought 6 extra copies. I want to, and people read it and they give it back and I hand it out. But Michael Waltz is doing it. Yep, he's killing it, posting his videos and his journey. And his boss, he's an insurance guy. His boss is now starting it.
Wow!
So it's like I don't know how many people I've influenced because it's like a spiderweb effect but it's like
one Ponzi scheme.
It's the healthiest Ponzi scheme there is. All right. So anyway, so that's the connection. Obviously, right? We're a podcast that wants to talk about building wealth. In order to do that, I really do believe that you've got to be at your best and at your sharpest. So your fitness and personal health is part of that wealth journey, in my opinion.
And you have to be mentally tough.
Yeah,
you have to be.
Yeah. There's some abuse out there, and you're about to get some.
I'm ready for it.
So now that you're kind of tuning up the body, I've been talking to you, Tony, for years, and about getting started on an investment journey, and specifically real estate investment, because that's my specialty. That's what I know. And don't get me wrong, I know there's plenty of places to make money. I'm going to stick with what I know. I'm going to talk about what I know, and that's real estate, and more specifically commercial real estate. But you haven't done it yet, Tony. And, we have counseled with each other about our business matters and business affairs and things of that nature. And a couple of months ago, I told you, wouldn't it be nice if you didn't need to worry about your business because your personal assets and your finances, your investments are making enough money to survive? Would that be nice, Tony?
That'd be great.
All right. So I'm serious. Now, this is what I wanted to kind of devote the next 10, 15 minutes to, trying to figure out for you, for me, for everyone else, what has prevented you from taking that step.
I think this would be because there's probably a lot of people like me out there who
sissies.
Well, if you call it a sissy,
no.
There's maybe part of it.
Yeah, scared money don't make money, Tony.
Sure.
But I understand it is scary. It's a big thing. I don't want to. I'm making light of it, but I understand it's scary. It's a big move, and I want to try to understand it better so that I can help you better.
Well, and I think sometimes the unknown causes fear. So maybe a lack of understanding of what's involved with it. A lack of understanding of if it's the right time. Can I do it right now? Obviously, I didn't come from money, much like you. My parents are as blue collar as they come.
Well, our parents had the same job.
Yeah, they didn't invest, save, and I was not taught to do that, and would have never thought I would even be an entrepreneur. As a young man, I thought I'd be a youth pastor forever, and that's a young man's game. And so now I end up here, and I have an 8-year-old business that, by every outward looker on observation, it's like, wow, you're killing it. This business has grown, and it has. We've done some really cool things. A lot of it was, from at the beginning, you were one of the first people to encourage me to go with my idea, and we've built something really good. But since the day I started, since the day I opened, I've been in expansion mode. Every time we start making more money, I get the next space, hire the next person, add the next thing, and therefore haven't, and probably as maybe a lack of understanding some of those things, learning on the fly. I'm an optimist, so I'm like, let's go, and I'm a visionary. And so instead of seeing opportunities to take money that I've made and invest it in something else to diversify, my earnings, keep pumping it back into the business, which, as can create its own set of challenges when you're always in expansion mode. Now, I feel like today, we're at a great spot. We have a great location. We have lots of room to grow. We have some good people. We have a good big book of business. And so now building it up from there. So it's not a lack of wanting to do something.
Sure.
It's maybe the fear comes from maybe a lack of understanding. Like, is it the right time? Do I have money to do that right now?
Yeah. So I think that might be what you're internalizing, and it's become kind of an excuse. And I'm really trying
Candidly.
I am.
You're not going to hurt my feelings. Don't worry about it.
And trust me, Tony and I have a great relationship. I'm not going to hurt his feelings.
Not at all.
I'm not badgering him. This is.
I guarantee you, there's people thinking like me. So this is good.
So it's out of one side of your mouth, you're saying, you're scared of something new, but AZ was something new. 100%. So you've done that, right? So I want to try to get into the psychology a little bit more of where that is really coming from, because you can't tell me you're scared when
you said I'm scared.
When you're we're diving deeper, but you've done that, and you've, by your own admission just now, gone out on the fly and learned something by doing it. So what's the difference?
A good question. I have never been afraid to take risks.
He has not, by the way. No preparation for this. I am hitting I'm hitting with this with him like live, and we're diving in together. But anyway, what's the difference?
These are good questions. I can't tell you. I know what the difference is. You know, like I said, I guess for me, my mind has been very solely focused on this thing, and as a visionary, you can see. My problem is I can see the end in my head. And so I always feel like I'm not there yet. And so my mind is kind of solely focused on getting there that I don't allow myself to just sit down and take time to think about doing something like this. I listen to your podcast, and every time I'm like, I got to do it. And then that 5 minutes later, I'm back to doing what I do. So
well, maybe it's my fault because I haven't pushed too hard.
Maybe you look at maybe
yeah.
Maybe you haven't.
Maybe I haven't.
Maybe you should bring me on your podcast and publicly
humiliate you. All right, we're gonna try that someday. No, so so I can understand. Like you said, you've got a vision. You're not there yet, so you don't feel quote unquote accomplished or across the finish line with AZ.
Right.
So why start something else when I still got this to do?
Right.
That makes sense, and I understand that. However, that mentality and that line of thinking will lead to never doing anything, never getting started, because I know you, and you're like me, like we're never going to be where that finish line. Right. That bogey keeps moving because when you're
elusive.
It is because you get there, you can set a goal where you want to be next year and you can hit it, and then you just move the goal.
A bigger goal.
Just make a bigger goal. Yeah. So I think probably what needs to happen is probably a not on this podcast, but we need to have a sit down where you catch the vision of what this means.
Yeah.
And more importantly, probably is that initial hurdle of I've got to write a check. Like I've got to get some dollars invested to start a real estate. I mean, you can go out and go zero down, but I already had a podcast about that. You shouldn't
do it.
And I mean, there are occasions where it makes sense. In this economic climate where our interest rates are, it doesn't, unless you've got unearthed some amazing deal with some huge opportunity. What I'm talking about is just traditional start, getting going on something small and building. And so I think what is lacking is a clear plan, because once you have the clear plan, you can attach your own vision to what that looks like. And then get started, because really the entry to investment, you're talking, let's assume it's a traditional finance situation where you're putting 20% down on something, right? Mm-hmm. And getting started with something with cash flow could be $20,000 out of pocket, which is a substantial amount of money.
Sure.
But if you read Profit First, and I know you have, maybe that's where that money starts to look at finding a home. Yeah. Because what I always say is money will find a place to go if you don't tell it where to go. So you put $20 in your pocket, and at the end of the day, you have zero. If you put $200 in your pocket, at the end of the day, you have zero, because you didn't have a plan for that money, and stuff comes along. Yeah. So having a plan, I think, is where the step is been missed. Because I just keep saying,
for sure,
just do it, Tony. Like, just do it. Like, what do you? But you're like, do what? You know what I mean? And I think we've missed that connection. Sure. Because I have brought you something in the past that I was like, dude, you should do this, and you're like, it's not really what I want. And then I'm like, damn it, Tony, I don't care what you want. This makes money.
Yeah.
And that's something I've been growing, myself personally, is like, it does have to be like, in my brain, it's all math. Like it's economic. Does the deal make money? Can I make it make more? Like, I don't buy, and you shouldn't buy real estate because you think it'll appreciate in value. You do that you buy something because you know you can add value. Right. And I talked about that in my last podcast a lot. Because I was all by myself, so I just kept rambling. So I think that's where not everybody thinks like me, right? Not everybody thinks like you.
That is true.
It's called empathy, and I've been building and working on that. Yeah. So I think based on the what you described, being an entrepreneur, being able to catch a vision, you have a vision because you've developed a plan, and what you see for your business at AZ, you don't have that yet for a real estate investment or any other investment.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a vision for pouring capital into anything else but AZ for the last 8 years. And now I will tell you, since we read Profit First, and a lot because of me and my son both listening to the podcast, he and I have both started a profit account, a savings account, and we are setting money aside for our first duplex. Like that is happening right now.
That's awesome.
And we're thinking a year is when we're going to be able to buy our first one. Could be sooner. So I am starting the path. I know that's probably the safe approach. Like, well, let's save up money.
It's an approach.
But that is the plan. There is something in the works, because I realized, like, I just told my wife the other day, I was like, as hard as I work, you would think at this stage of my life I would be a little better off. But, you know, I still feel like there's a lot of weeks where I'm just still in the grind, still in the hustle.
That's a business owner. That's
not sustainable forever.
It's not. It's not 90% of the business owners out there. They just stay in their lane. And, you know, I think I had a conversation like this with Mark Agnew on one of my episodes, where he could be pumping out stickers and just staying in his lane. Right. Well, he's been slowly buying assets, buying real estate. Now he's got like 5 different properties. So he's at a point, and it doesn't take it doesn't take long, 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, it's happened pretty quick for him.
That's what it takes. That first one does take a minute, then the second one takes less, and the third one takes even less, and so on and so forth. But once you get to 7 years, it's completely different. You have a sustainable income that has replaced your living expenses.
Yeah.
And that is a big sigh of relief.
For sure.
Because you don't need to worry about making the next sale. And you become a better business owner, a better leader, a better boss when, like, you don't have, you know what I mean? Like, personally,
you're not always under duress.
You're not under duress. Personally, like, your life is set. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not like lavish,
right?
But it's taken care of.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any stress. I don't have worry. My house payment's going to be taken care of because my groceries, everything is taken care of because I've been smart with my money. I've invested and I have income. I don't need my sales guys to go out and sell. I want them to. I want my business to grow. That leads to even more exponential growth.
Right.
But when you don't have the personal stress, you become a better leader because you can focus on growth and development of your people rather than just sell, make money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you're there. And I forgot that you and Mike and I had
we had a little
sit down after one of my episodes where I broke down the house hack about buying a duplex.
Well, and he's kind of prompted me. He's young and he wants to, you know, one of the things he said to me when he kind of gave me his life plan and why he wants to work with AZ is his exact words, and this is before he ever heard of the First Gen podcast, is, I want to be the first one in our family to create generational wealth. He said our family struggled forever. And, you know, I always think, man, if I had started when I was his age, I started when I was almost 40, 36, 37.
With like 24 kids, so that's really tough to do.
Well, I had already hit a big nut when I started.
Yeah.
And, you know, so, you know, I guess let me ask you this. I mean, you understand where I'm at today. Mm-hmm. We've built a good-sized business that's created a good reputation for itself. It's a good book of business. But it's also, you know, where we've set ourselves up is we have a really big monthly nut at this point. And so it does require a certain amount of effort and sales to make sure that thing gets taken care of and gets paid for. And it's hard for me to take my focus even a little bit off that until I know, like, that's set. But what you're saying also is, like, if you have these other things, they kind of take care of those personal.
Well, and what you should have learned, and it's not planned, but we've come back full circle through that 75-day hard program. It's part of your time management, right? Mm-hmm. You got more time than you realize.
For sure.
And when that program's over, you're going to have even more time. Like, you're going to be like, what am I getting?
At least an hour and a half a day.
Yeah. So finding a deal to purchase is not strenuous work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can spend an hour or a half hour on your phone scrolling deals, scrolling, you know, different websites. So it just has to become the next priority. You know what I mean? Just like you sit down for 10 minutes to read a book through 75-day hard, that's part of the program. You got to do that. Right. Well, now I got to spend 15 minutes, 10 minutes scrolling. I read the book, then I scroll and look for a deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm asking you to take your eye off the ball of AZ. That would be bad advice. But you do need to find a moment in time to prioritize diversification in finding that asset.
Yeah.
And of course, probably getting with Leo or Ryan in my office and make that's what they're doing all day long, right? Yeah. So you get on their radar, and now you've got somebody, a professional, actively looking. So now your time isn't wasted on that. I would still look, especially if,
for sure.
Yeah. But you can hire that done, get serious, get committed. And something that I'm going to talk about on my next podcast is access to capital and financing, because I think it's especially important in this marketplace right now, is having some options of being able to execute on a deal once you find it, because the banks are tight right now. Like the capital markets have changed drastically. So we're going to talk about that in the next podcast.
It'll be interesting to learn about.
Which I normally don't know what my next topic is, but I've actually done.
We know it's going to be awesome.
Well, we know it's going to be awesome, right? I'm not finished. Is that my sign off? I
think so.
Yeah, I guess it's become
like
that way. I like awesome autocorrects in my text message. I say that so often.
Your word.
This is my word. I've been saying awesome since 1987.
That's about when it came out.
Yeah. I embraced it, baby. Yeah. That's my word.
Took it right from the beginning.
So Tony, and because we spent so much time talking about fitness in the beginning, I've kind of like got to the point in where I usually wrap up, but I want to make sure, and we've drilled quickly and like hard on where I think your fear was coming in and what your lack of execution, for lack of a better word. Sure. But you haven't. It sounds like you've taken those steps, after that conversation we had a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
But do you think that's it? Is just the visualization of first the development of the plan. Let's put it in writing. Let's see it.
Yeah.
And then execute.
Well, I honestly, I don't live in fear. Like I am a very, like I said, optimistic, visionary. I tend to try things, that I'm not comfortable with. I've never been afraid to try something. I end my podcast with, you can't and never could until you tried. So go out there and try something great and don't take the easy way out. Like that is who I am.
Shameless plug.
Yes.
But go on.
But in terms of, this specific thing, like why haven't I done it? Again, I think for me, it's, I enjoy jumping into things that I'm really interested in. Real estate has never necessarily interested me.
Fair. Yeah.
But certainly making money and having good investments does interest me, especially at this point in your life. You get to different seasons of your life and your priorities change and things that are important to you change. And so, I'm at a point where I don't want to work as hard as I've worked the first 20 years of my life.
Not everybody's interested in real estate. I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't compute.
Yeah. And so do I wake up in the morning and think about the next real estate deal? No, not naturally. I'm thinking of it as more of, this is something that I should do. It's a smart thing to do. A lot of the successful people I know are doing it, so I should be doing it. But I think maybe the lack of just jumping in is because I've just never have had a passion about doing that.
Sure.
And my mindset is starting to change on that a little bit. Like I said, as you get to a point where you are running a business and you see the victories and the defeats and the wins and the struggles, you start to think there's got to be an easier way. There's got to be an easier way.
Even though there's no easy way out.
There's no easy way out, right.
Well, it takes work. It takes effort. So I think then let's connect the dots. So we're going to develop a plan. We're going to help you catch a vision. And no, you're not passionate about real estate, but you are passionate about setting your family up, about financial freedom, right?
100%.
So we just have to attach a plan that delivers that result. So you don't have to be passionate about real estate.
Yeah.
But you got to be passionate about financial freedom, about some passive income. That is something. So let's connect those dots. Let's marry those two ideas, so that you own that in your head.
Yeah.
And now it's not real estate I'm passionate about. I've got other people trying to find me a deal. I don't care about real estate, right? What that does for me though is it does something I do care about, and that's setting my family up, and that's realizing some financial freedom.
Right.
So I think we can do that.
I think so.
So this therapy session, this is my first podcast.
I've been laying on the couch.
Yeah, I'm going to get paid for this podcast now because I'm going to send Tony a bill on this therapy session. though.
Get a cut of the first investment.
Yeah, well, that's what my commission's for. You know, even
exactly.
if it's Ryan and or Adam or any one of these guys, are happy to do that. They get a commission. The company gets a little bit of that.
100%.
So so there's that will be my therapy fee right there.
Yeah.
So do you have I'm going to wrap it, but I want to make sure is there anything still rattling around? Is there a fear left there, or is it just I don't know where I'm going to get the down payment? Or
I would say that if there's a fear,
Yeah.
and I don't like to use that word, but let's just be honest, it probably is a fear, an inhibition.
Yeah.
Where do I pull the money from? Right now I'm pouring money into my business.
Yep. So I would say to that, you have no idea until you know what that number is, because we have to make a decision all right, this is our target of, we're going to start with 1. We want it to make X amount of dollars per year, and it can be small, right? Just get it going. Once that machine starts turning, it can grow. So then we can say, all right, Tony, you need to save X amount of dollars. And now you've got something concrete that you're shooting for, and it's not a mystical.
We're shooting for 15 right now.
Terrific.
That's the number we're
and that may or may not be.
And we're already a fifth of the way there. We had just over 3 saved up. So in a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's been a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So great. We've solved all of your problems. I'm feeling terrific today.
We're on the right path.
When your wife watches this, she'll think, "Oh, great! I can go out and buy a new handbag because."
Yes, let's not watch this. But I will say on that note, I do appreciate you doing this podcast. I'm glad that you started it. It's been helpful to me listening, not just to you because I've heard you say it a lot, but listening to the guests on here talk about the same things, and it definitely seems way more attainable now than it did 2 months ago.
Good.
And we have started the ball. So it is having an impact, I would say, at least on me. So I've started the ball rolling, and we'll be having a lot more conversation about it, because as I get to the point where I'm ready to pull the trigger, I'm going to need all kinds of guidance.
I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it alongside with my team. I'm glad you've already started the ball rolling. So I didn't get to bombard you and beat you as bad as I was hoping, because you've already taken steps.
Taken some steps.
Bravo.
Yep.
Bravo. So that's it, people. That's it. Tony took action. He developed a plan with his son. They're going to save $15,000 to put towards their first investment. Mm-hmm. You're taking action. Yep. You're making the moves, dude. That's what this is all about. I'm just trying to get people to act. Yep. And that's a phone call. That's a decision in your case. That's always what it is. It's the decision. Yeah. Because once you decide that you're going to do it, the phone call becomes easier. The saving becomes easier. Everything along the way becomes easier because the decision has already been made. Yeah. So, all right, man.
Awesome.
I appreciate
it.
Awesome. Say it again.
Awesome. Thanks for beating up on me a little bit.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
No, you'll survive.
I've had much worse.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's it, man. Like I said, we do know what the next topic's going to be. It's going to be, we're going to chat. I'm bringing my brother back to talk about access to capital and where we see the world of finance and how you can maybe find some interesting ways to get deals done through some private money or some other things. So you're gonna want to tune in for that. So we do know who the guest is. We do know what the topic is. So tune in. It is going to be awesome.